All right, so I'm here with Matt Stansberry, part of the Silver Bullet Sessions here at Cedar Creek Park, Summer Sounds. First of all, thanks for making the drive up.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. This is awesome.
Excellent. We're happy to have you too. So, you guys just dropped a new album not too long ago, Crash Landing. Tell me about how that whole thing came together and how's it going?
Yeah, it's going really good. So, just released it actually a few weeks ago on June 12th. So, it's going well. We're excited to release something that's a little different version of kind of what we've done in the past. So we've got to explore some new directions, and it kind of came together based around the song Crash Landing. That's the title track. I mean, that was kind of set the tone for the rest of the record. So once we wrote that song, everything kind of, we knew what songs, the type of song that was going to make it on, the type of song that wasn't, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been really fun. Now it's fun to perform it live too. So we haven't done it a whole bunch yet because this is a brand new record. So
right. So what's your favorite song on the album?
Personally, a song called Too Late, and we performed that a while ago on the sessions there. So it just feels really comfortable and really natural, and it feels kind of like an effortless song. That's not always the case with songs, you know. The songs that I write, sometimes it's hard for me to perform. But that one just feels really nice and easy.
Cool. So your first album with the Romance is called Brighten It Up.
Yep.
And a lot of the music critics out there will say that they're two very different albums. Brighten It Up is a little more upbeat, a little happier, and of course Crash Landing is maybe a little grittier, a little darker. What do you think about that when people say that? Is that true?
I think it's great because that's how I kind of describe it too. I mean, I kind of agree. What's interesting is I was kind of nervous about putting the two worlds together, but they're not as drastically different, I think. I guess that's the only thing I'd like to kind of like clarify with people is that, it's not like a whole different band. We're the same band, just explored a little different areas, but they all mesh really well together. We can play one song from the old album, one song from the new one, and I don't think it feels forced or weird. It's like they go together.
Sure. Well, and I would imagine too, from album to album, as a band, you guys have evolved as well.
Totally.
Different sound, a little bit different, so that's apparent on the album as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody sounds a little bit more like them on this record, which is cool. So like, I dig that.
Very cool. So that one was you did a Kickstarter project, and the response was overwhelming. Yeah. How did that make you feel when you got such a great response from Kickstarter?
It feels great. I mean, it's nice to know that people aren't just appreciative of the music that you make or trying to make, but they also want to be involved, you know? And that's what's cool. I mean, when I first heard of Kickstarter, I was a little leery of the whole thing. I kind of thought you're just asking people for money. And then I realized it's not really what you're doing. You're asking people to be part of your musical family and be involved in a way that people want to be. Right. It's not just they're giving you, they want to be able to say, we have kind of a backstage pass on what this band's doing in the studio and that kind of thing. And so I think it's been really cool to see that, how this kind of forms a little bit of a community.
Awesome. Now you mentioned musical family. That's a great segue. You come from a musical family. Your grandfather was a musician. Your father was a musician. How did that influence you, growing up in a family like that, and even now as you're creating albums and writing songs? How did that upbringing influence you?
I think it's kind of just ingrained in me. I mean, it took me a while to figure that out. I guess I didn't know it was ingrained until I started kind of doing music. It's like, oh yeah, this is just part of who I am. Sure. Probably should have started earlier. I was about 13 when I started. I'm surprised it wasn't sooner. I guess it just wasn't ever pushed on me. It was just there. So at some point I was kind of like, well, I want to be involved in that too.
Nice.
I want to be able to do the little family jam sessions when my dad would be playing and my grandfather would be playing fiddle. It's like, it'd be kind of fun to jump in and play something,
Sure.
So yeah, it works out. It works out well. And we do that, have little family jams.
Very cool. So you started out in solo. You put out some albums solo, and then you formed a band. Tell me about that transition.
Well, I mean, it's kind of natural and sort of unnatural. I mean, I feel like where I'm at now with the Romance feels totally like at home, and I feel like, as an artist and you're trying to always grow and develop and kind of find your sound, I'm very proud of that stuff. It was very like, I was kind of different, like totally different from one project to the next in terms of like stylistically and stuff. So I think that journey was just really crucial for me kind of finding myself as an artist. And so I feel like this project is a representation of kind of, arriving kind of in my lane where I feel like I write well for this project. And like I said, it just feels natural, So it's not always that way, and you think it would be just playing, but it's have to find your sound, and what makes sense to you as an artist. And so yeah, it's been a journey, but
sounds like a good journey.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah. So tell me about how you would describe the type of music that you play. describe that sound?
You know, that's always tricky, and I give a different answer a different day. But it's it's a throwback, retro-inspired vibe of like 50s and 60s kind of. It's kind of the eras that we pull from, but at the same time, it's new, and we're not just copying old music. That's just sonically inspiring us. But there's a lot of new artists that we get into and stuff too. So I would say it's kind of a throwback sound with a modern edge.
Very good. So when you talk about some of that songwriting inspiration, where do you get some of that from, and who are some of the artists out there that maybe you draw inspiration from, or that are influences of yours?
Yeah, so there's a lot of old artists, but those are kind of the obvious ones.
Sure.
The ones that kind of get into lately are bands that are doing sort of a similar thing. They're unique and original. I mean, I saw you guys have St. Paul and the Broken Bones coming.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like that kind of thing. So they're a band that I think is really happening. I really like what they're doing. I even like guys like Gary Clark Jr. that have kind of a little bit of a real bluesy, soulful thing. I could just keep going on. There's Nick Waterhouse and Eli Paperboy Reed, and like what Alan Stone's doing, and I loved what Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings have done, and so just those types of things. Raphael Sadiq, it's hard for me to stop. I just started thinking of these artists, but those are the ones I lately, because I just feel like they're that mix of those worlds, new and kind of old, and so those, there's a cool thing happening right now in music in the world.
Great. So what's next for Matt Stansberry and the Romance?
We're gonna keep making records. I've already written a lot of new songs. We're already working on stuff. So it's like we just released one, and we're already kind of doing that. So we'll always, I think we're already planning a third album. I don't know beyond that, in the studio world, but we're gonna keep playing live and tour and get out there a little bit more. And so I think that's the next big way for us, is just to really get it to more places across the country.
So what can you tell us about tonight? What's in store for the fans that are here to see you tonight? What kind of show is it going to be? What can they expect from you guys?
I think it's kind of a representation of what I was saying earlier with my solo career, where it's a journey, So I think that's kind of the idea with this set list, is we get it really mellow and we get it really big and everything in between. So, and every song has its little place in the set, and so I like to just kind of describe it as it's a journey. It's a musical journey tonight. Is kind of the idea.
Fantastic. So, well, we're happy you're here. I know you came up from St. Louis by way of Oklahoma. We're excited for the show tonight, and thanks for sitting down and playing some checkers with us here at the Silver Bullet session. Matt Stansberry of Matt Stansberry and the Romance at Summer Sounds.
Thanks.
Okay. You bet.